The night has already begun to soften around you, even if you don't notice the exact moment it happens. There is a quiet transition, like a dimmer switch turning slowly, gently, until the edges of the day blur and dissolve. You don't need to do anything to follow along. You're already here. Imagine the air outside, cool but not cold, carrying the faint scent of asphalt that has finally stopped holding heat. The city exhales, not loudly, not all at once, but in long, drawn-out breaths that stretch across empty streets and glowing windows. Neon signs flicker without urgency, humming softly as if they've been awake all night and don't mind staying that way. Somewhere nearby, an old storefront keeps its lights on for no particular reason. The glass reflects colors that don't quite belong to any single place: soft pinks, faded blues, gentle purples that melt into one another like memory rather than light. You can't tell if you've been here before, or if this place feels familiar simply because it's calm. The street is mostly empty, not abandoned, just resting. Traffic lights change patiently for no one in particular, cycling through colors that feel slower at night, like time itself has decided to stretch. There's a distant hum, maybe a highway far away, maybe an air conditioner on a rooftop, maybe something else entirely. It doesn't matter what it is, it's steady, and that steadiness is enough. As you move forward, not walking, not rushing, just drifting, the ground beneath you feels smooth and predictable. Every step blends into the next until steps stop being something you notice at all. You're not trying to arrive anywhere. The night isn't asking that of you. Above, the sky holds a muted glow, not quite dark, not quite bright. Light pollution softens the stars into suggestions rather than points, and somehow that makes the sky feel closer, more personal, like it's leaning in, listening. Windows pass by, each one holding a quiet story you don't need to understand. A television screen glows with muted colors, the sound long since turned down. An analog clock ticks somewhere inside a room you'll never enter, its rhythm slow and reassuring, like a heartbeat you're allowed to borrow. There's no pressure to think. If thoughts come, they can float like dust in a beam of light, visible for a moment before settling back into stillness. Nothing needs to be solved tonight. Nothing needs to be remembered perfectly. You might notice how the colors around you feel slightly softened, as if viewed through an old lens, edges blurred just enough to remove sharpness. Even the neon signs seem tired in a pleasant way, their glow spreading outward instead of cutting through the dark. They don't demand attention, they simply exist. Somewhere between memory and imagination, a familiar melody almost forms, not loud enough to hear, not clear enough to name. It's more like a feeling of music than music itself, a rhythm that reminds you of late nights that never asked anything from you, nights where staying awake felt as gentle as falling asleep. The air carries a faint static, like an old cassette tape left running, not noise, exactly more like texture. It fills the spaces between moments so nothing ever feels empty or sudden. That soft static wraps around the silence, smoothing it out. As you continue drifting, the street opens into a wider road. Streetlights line the way, each one casting a pool of warm light that overlaps with the next, creating an unbroken path. You move from glow to glow without noticing the space between them. There's comfort in that continuity, in knowing the light doesn't suddenly disappear. The buildings here are taller but quieter. Their windows reflect each other, repeating the city in endless layers. It's hard to tell which lights are real and which are reflections, and eventually it stops mattering. The repetition becomes soothing, like a visual echo. Your breathing begins to match the pace of the night, slow, unforced. Each inhale feels like it's borrowing calm from the air itself, and each exhale returns it gently, unchanged. There's nothing to hold on to and nothing to let go of. A digital sign scrolls softly somewhere above you, its message too faded to read clearly. The letters blur together, becoming shapes rather than words. You don't need to understand them. The glow is enough. In the distance, a train passes, its sound stretched thin by space and time, not loud, not disruptive. Just a low, passing reminder that motion still exists somewhere beyond this moment. It fades as gradually as it arrived, leaving the night exactly as it was before. You might start to feel like you've been here for a long time, or maybe like you've just arrived. The difference between those two ideas softens until they overlap. Time doesn't behave the same way at night, especially not in places like this. There's a sense that the night goes on endlessly, but not in a way that feels overwhelming, more like a long, smooth road with no sharp turns. If something comes next, it will arrive gently, without needing your attention. You pass an old arcade, its interior dark but not forgotten. A single machine near the back still glows, frozen on a screen that never changes. Pixelated colors shimmer softly, waiting for no one. They don't mind being left alone. The glass reflects your movement, or maybe just the movement of light, and for a moment it feels like the city is watching itself dream. Everything feels slightly slowed, like a memory replayed at half speed. You don't feel tired in a heavy way. Instead, there's a lightness, a sense of floating just above the surface of thought. Sleep isn't something you need to chase, it's something that knows where you are. The night air wraps around you like a familiar jacket, worn soft with time. Nothing scratches, nothing presses. It fits without effort. Far above, an airplane crosses the sky, its lights blinking slowly, deliberately. The sound arrives late, already softened by distance, and then fades again. It leaves behind a sense of vastness that doesn't demand anything from you. The road curves gently, leading you past more glowing signs, more quiet buildings, more reflections layered upon reflections. The city repeats itself in comforting ways, like a loop that was designed to never startle. Somewhere nearby, a vending machine hums quietly, its internal lights illuminating rows of drinks that will wait all night if they have to. There's something reassuring about that patience. Nothing here is in a hurry. You begin to notice how your awareness drifts forward naturally, as if guided by the soft pull of the next pool of light, the next quiet sound. There's always something just ahead, but it never feels urgent, just present. The static in the air becomes almost musical now, a low-frequency warmth that fills the background of everything. It doesn't change, and because it doesn't change, it becomes easy to forget it's even there, like the hum of the universe, steady and indifferent. In the kindest way, your thoughts, if they appear, move more slowly now. They don't collide or stack, they pass through, one at a time, dissolving before they can form edges. The night feels endless but safe, a space where nothing unexpected needs to happen. Where the familiar repeats just enough to feel grounding, and the unknown stays soft and distant. As you continue drifting through this vaporwave-lit city, there's a gentle sense that more calm waits ahead, unfolding at the same unhurried pace. Nothing will change suddenly, nothing needs to be anticipated. For now, you remain here, moving through neon reflections and midnight air, guided by the quiet hum of a world that has slowed down just for you. The night doesn't restart or reset, it simply continues, like a long inhale that never quite reaches its end. You are still moving forward, though the idea of movement has softened so much it feels more like floating, like being gently carried by the atmosphere itself. The city around you feels slightly different now, not because anything changed suddenly, but because your awareness has settled deeper into it. Lights appear warmer, shadows feel wider, more forgiving. Every surface reflects a little more glow than it did before, as if the night decided to become more generous. You pass beneath an overpass where the sound shifts just enough to notice the distant hum grows rounder, fuller, like it's echoing inside a large empty room. Your presence doesn't disturb it, you blend into it, becoming part of the quiet resonance. Graffiti lines the concrete walls, colors softened by age and darkness. The shapes don't form clear messages anymore. They've faded into abstract memory, reminders that something was once expressed here and now rests. There's comfort in that rest. The air feels heavier in a pleasant way, like a blanket settling without weight. Breathing feels automatic, slow and deep, as if your body already understands the rhythm of this place. There's no need to guide it, it knows what to do. Somewhere nearby, a streetlight flickers once, then steadies. not a jolt, not a disruption, just a brief shimmer that fades back into consistency. Even imperfections feel gentle. Here, you emerge from the overpass into a quieter stretch of road. The buildings pull back slightly, giving space to the sky. The glow above is smooth and diffuse, like light filtered through old glass. It's not asking to be looked at closely. It's content to simply exist above you. A soft breeze moves through, barely noticeable, carrying the faint scent of something nostalgic, maybe ozone, maybe distant rain, maybe nothing specific at all. It feels familiar without needing a name. That familiarity settles into you, easing tension you didn't realize you were holding. Storefronts line the street, their signs still lit despite the hour. Some are entirely unreadable now, letters burned out or obscured by reflection. Others pulse gently, their glow steady and patient. They aren't trying to attract attention. They're just keeping the night company. Inside one window, a row of old televisions sit stacked, each screen displaying soft static. The noise is silent from here, but you can almost feel it, a visual hum, comforting and constant. The images don't change, they don't need to. You drift past without urgency, knowing they'll remain exactly as they are long after you've gone. That sense of permanence is grounding. Nothing is fleeting in a way that feels alarming. Everything has time. The road stretches on, smooth and unbroken. Lines painted on the asphalt glow faintly under the street lights, guiding without commanding. They don't tell you where to go, they simply suggest continuity. Your mind begins to loosen further, thoughts stretching out like reflections on wet pavement. They elongate, blur, and merge, losing their sharp edges. There's no single idea that demands attention, just a soft awareness of being here now. In the distance, music drifts from somewhere unseen, not a song, not a melody, just a low, ambient tone that feels more like atmosphere than sound. It blends seamlessly with the city's hum, becoming part of the background texture. You don't follow it, it follows you. The night seems to repeat itself in subtle patterns. Another street light, another quiet intersection, another reflection of neon on glass. The repetition doesn't feel boring, it feels reassuring, like a familiar loop that never traps, only comforts. You pause near a crosswalk, though there's no need to wait. The signal changes colors slowly, methodically, cycling for no one. You watch the light shift, not because you have to, but because it's calming to see something move without urgency. When you continue, it feels natural, unforced. The ground beneath you feels stable, supportive, like it has always been there and always will be. Nothing about this place feels temporary in a way that causes concern. The buildings begin to glow more intensely now, as if absorbing the neon and reflecting it back into the night. Windows become mirrors, mirrors become windows. The distinction softens until everything feels layered, like overlapping memories that don't need to be sorted. Somewhere above, a low cloud drifts slowly across the sky, dimming the glow just a little before passing on. The shift is subtle, almost unnoticeable, but it adds depth to the stillness. Even the sky moves at its own unhurried pace. You feel a gentle pull forward, not physical, but psychological, a sense that the night continues beyond what you can see and that it will reveal itself gradually without surprises. There's comfort in knowing you don't have to stay alert. Nothing here requires vigilance. An old payphone stands on the corner, untouched. Its surface reflects the street light softly, casting a faint halo on the sidewalk. It doesn't ring, it won't ring. It exists as a quiet artifact of another time, perfectly content in silence. The static in the air grows slightly warmer, wrapping around everything like a low-frequency embrace. It fills the spaces between moments so completely that there's no room for abruptness. Everything blends. Your awareness drifts inward now, even as you continue moving through the city. The outside and the inside begin to mirror each other, calm reflected by calm, stillness meeting stillness. There's no boundary you need to define. The street narrows again, leading into a corridor of light and shadow. Neon signs hang above, their colors melting into each other, creating gradients that feel almost liquid. They drip slowly down the walls in your perception, though nothing actually moves. You notice how your body feels heavier. In the most comfortable way, like settling into a position that requires no adjustment, muscles loosen without instruction. Your posture finds its own ease. Far away, a siren sounds briefly, but distance turns it into something soft and abstract. It rises, falls, and disappears without ever becoming sharp. The city absorbs it, smoothing it out until it's gone. There's a sense that the night is holding you, not watching, not judging, just providing a space where nothing is demanded. You're allowed to exist here without purpose. That permission feels expansive as you continue. Forward, the path ahead remains softly illuminated, always revealing just enough of what comes next. Never all at once, never too much. You don't need to prepare. The night has already done that for you. Somewhere ahead, more glow waits, more quiet repetition, more gentle continuity, and you drift toward it naturally, carried by the same calm rhythm, knowing that whatever comes next will arrive just as softly as everything before. The night feels deeper now, not darker, just more settled, like it has fully arrived and decided to stay. There is no clear border where this part begins. It simply unfolds, continuing the same calm motion you've already been moving with, as if the city itself is breathing in slow, even cycles. The streets grow quieter, though they were never loud to begin with. It's more like the remaining sounds have learned where to rest. The distant hum smooths out, becoming a steady layer beneath everything else, like a low note held indefinitely. It doesn't pull your attention, it supports it. Neon reflections stretch longer here, spilling across pavement that looks almost liquid under the lights. Colors slide gently into one another, refusing sharp contrast. Pink fades into blue, blue melts into violet. Nothing insists on being distinct. You move past a row of closed shops, metal shutters pulled down, their surfaces catching fragments of light from passing signs. The reflections ripple faintly as you drift by, like the city acknowledging movement without reacting to it. There's a quiet understanding between you and this place. Neither expects anything from the other. Your awareness feels wider now, but softer. You notice more without focusing on any single thing. It's like seeing the entire scene at once, rather than scanning it piece by piece. That broad awareness feels safe, spacious, unconfined. Above, the sky glows with a muted warmth, clouds drifting slowly enough that you almost question whether they're moving at all. Their motion is only noticeable when you stop trying to observe it. The night rewards not looking too closely. Somewhere behind a building, an old radio plays faintly. The sound is filtered through walls and distance, turning music into atmosphere. You can't identify the tune, and that's exactly why it fits so well. It becomes part of the background, not a focal point, just another layer of calm. You pass a narrow alley where light pools gently at both ends, leaving the center in soft shadow. Even the darkness here doesn't feel empty. It feels padded, like silence with depth. Nothing hides inside it, nothing waits. Your breathing feels even slower now, as if the night itself is setting the pace. Each inhale arrives easily, each exhale leaves without effort. There's no pause between them that feels uncomfortable. The rhythm carries itself. The ground beneath you seems smoother, almost unreal in its consistency. There are no cracks to trip over, no obstacles to avoid. The path feels designed to support uninterrupted movement, whether that movement is forward, inward, or somewhere in between. You notice how your thoughts have thinned out. They still appear, but they're lighter now, less structured, more like impressions than sentences. They come and go without leaving traces. A digital billboard glows above the street, frozen on an image that looks slightly outdated. The colors are oversaturated in a way that feels intentional, nostalgic. It reminds you of a future that was imagined long ago and never quite arrived, yet somehow still feels comforting. The light from the billboard washes over the street. In slow pulses, not flickering, just breathing. You don't wait for it to change. You're content with how it is. Far off, the outline of taller buildings fades into a haze, their edges softened by distance and memory. They feel less like structures and more like silhouettes, watching over the city quietly, without authority. You sense that time has become less linear here. Moments don't stack neatly, they overlap, loop, stretch. It feels possible that you've been moving through this space for hours, or only minutes. Both feel equally true. There's a gentle curiosity in the air, not directed at you, but present nonetheless, a sense that the night holds countless quiet details, all of them content to remain unnoticed. You don't feel the need to search for them, knowing they exist is enough. You pass a bus stop with a bench still warm from earlier use. A flickering fluorescent light hums softly above it, casting a pale glow that feels steady despite its age. The bench waits patiently, unconcerned with whether anyone arrives. The city feels paused in a perfect moment, not frozen, just unhurried, like a scene that could continue forever without changing in any meaningful way. As you continue drifting, the street curves again, guiding you gently without forcing direction. The curve feels intentional, designed to prevent sharp edges in both space and thought. You follow it naturally. Your body feels heavier now in the best way, not weighed down but grounded, like sinking slightly into a surface that supports you completely. There's no tension left to hold you upright. The air carries a faint echo of rain that may have fallen earlier or may fall later. The scent exists without a clear timeline, just another reminder that the night isn't bound by sequence. You notice how the neon signs seem less like advertisements and more like ambient light sources, contributing to the mood rather than asking for attention. They glow because glowing is what they do. No other reason is needed. A soft vibration passes through the ground as a train moves somewhere beneath the city. The sensation is subtle, barely perceptible, like a distant heartbeat. It fades quickly, leaving behind a sense of continuity. Your awareness drifts forward again, naturally, gently, toward whatever comes next. There's no anticipation, just allowance. The night reveals itself at a pace that feels perfectly matched to you. Windows above reflect the street below, duplicating the scene upside down. For a moment, it's hard to tell which direction is which. That disorientation feels calming, not confusing. It releases the need to orient yourself at all. You realize that nothing in this place expects you to stay awake. The city continues whether you're alert or drifting. There's no role you need to play. The static in the air becomes almost velvety now, smoothing transitions between moments so completely that it is hard to say where one ends and the next begins. Everything blends into a continuous, gentle flow. You move past another intersection, another set of lights changing slowly, faithfully. They don't hurry for you, they don't stop you, they simply cycle, endlessly, calmly. The night seems to stretch outward, not forward, like a wide field rather than a road. There's room to settle here, room to rest without falling, room to drift without disappearing. Somewhere ahead, the glow grows warmer again, hinting at another familiar stretch of street, another sequence of lights and reflections. You don't need to picture it clearly. It will reveal itself when it's ready. For now, you remain suspended in this calm continuity, carried by repetition, softened by light, surrounded by a city that has slowed itself to match your pace. Nothing presses, nothing interrupts. The night continues and you continue with it, gently, effortlessly, as if this state of drifting has always been. The night has settled into something even smoother now, like a long ribbon of quiet stretching endlessly in every direction. There is no sense of arrival or departure here, only continuation, only the gentle agreement between you and the city to keep moving at exactly this pace. The air feels thicker, not heavy, just full, as if it's carrying memory itself. Every breath you take feels padded, rounded at the edges, entering and leaving without effort. Your body understands this rhythm completely. It has stopped asking questions. Lights along the street glow with a softer intention now. They seem less like fixtures and more like quiet companions, spaced just far enough apart to guide without leading. Each one casts a circle of warmth that overlaps the next, creating an unbroken chain of calm. There is never a moment where the light fully disappears. Reflections deepen as the pavement darkens. Neon stretches longer, thinner, becoming abstract shapes that ripple slightly in your perception. It's difficult to tell where one reflection ends and another begins. They merge, layering color upon color until the ground itself feels like a screen playing a slow, looping dream. You drift past a small diner that never seems to close. Inside, the lights are dimmed low, chrome surfaces catching faint highlights. No voices carry out. Onto the street, everything inside exists in a quiet pause, like a photograph held just before motion resumes. You don't feel drawn in, you don't feel excluded, it simply exists alongside you. The night hums steadily, a constant undertone that fills every gap. It's not loud enough to notice directly, yet its absence would feel strange. It reminds you that the city is still awake in its own way, even while resting. Your thoughts feel distant now, like they're happening in another room. You're aware of them only vaguely, as impressions rather than ideas. They don't pull you backward or push you forward, they float, then fade. Above you, power lines stretch across the sky, cutting gentle lines through the glow. They form patterns without intention, geometric but imperfect. They don't symbolize anything, they just exist, quietly holding space between buildings. The sky itself feels closer, like it's lowered to meet the city halfway. Clouds drift so slowly they feel suspended, their movement only noticeable when you stop trying to track it. The glow behind them never changes abruptly, everything transitions gradually, as if guided by an unseen hand that favors softness. You notice how your body feels more present and less defined at the same time. The boundaries between where you end and where the night begins feel blurred. Not in a way that's disorienting, in a way that's relieving. There's less to carry when edges soften. A quiet residential block appears, windows dark except for a few lamps left on intentionally. Warm yellow light spills onto curtains, onto walls, onto nothing in particular. These rooms don't need to be seen, their warmth is enough. Somewhere nearby, a ceiling fan turns slowly, its rhythm barely audible. The sound blends into the nights. Adding texture without drawing attention. It feels like the kind of sound that's always been there, waiting for you to notice it only when everything else quiets down. The street narrows again, gently funneling your awareness forward. Not because you need direction, but because the night prefers smooth transitions. Nothing sharp appears, nothing interrupts the flow. You pass beneath trees whose leaves catch small fragments of light, turning them into soft flickers that resemble distant stars. The movement of the leaves is minimal, just enough to suggest life without disturbance. The branches arch overhead, forming a natural tunnel that feels protective rather than enclosing. Your breathing has become so slow and natural that it almost feels optional. Each breath arrives exactly when it needs to, without instruction. There's a sense that if you stop paying attention to it entirely, it would continue on its own. Far away, a low bass note from some unseen source vibrates gently through the air. It doesn't form a rhythm you need to follow. It simply exists as a subtle presence, grounding the space beneath everything else. The pavement here feels older, smoother, worn down by years of quiet repetition. Every step blends seamlessly into the next, until the idea of stepping disappears altogether. You are no longer moving across the city is moving around you. Neon signs appear less frequently now, replaced by softer, more diffused light sources, a porch light, a hallway window, a glowing stairwell behind frosted glass. Each one contributes to the overall calm without trying to stand out. You sense a gentle looping quality to the night, like you could pass this same corner again and it would feel exactly the same, not repetitive in a tiring way, but consistent in a reassuring way, like returning to a familiar dream that always unfolds at the same pace. The static in the air feels thicker here, almost like a cushion between moments. Transitions blur so completely that it's difficult to say when one scene becomes the next. Everything feels continuous, uninterrupted, safe. Your awareness drifts forward again, guided by nothing more than the promise of continued calm. There's a quiet understanding that whatever comes next will match the same tone, the same softness. Nothing will ask you to react. A parking lot opens up beside you, nearly empty, its surface reflecting the sky faintly. Painted lines stretch out, orderly and patient, waiting without expectation. The space feels wide and open, giving your thoughts room to dissolve completely. A single car sits beneath a light, its surface catching highlights that slide slowly as clouds pass overhead. It doesn't look abandoned, it looks at rest. Like everything else here, you notice how the night doesn't feel lonely, it feels spacious. There's a difference, and you feel it clearly now. Nothing is missing, nothing needs to arrive. Somewhere behind you, the faint echo of your movement fades, though it never made a sound to begin with. Ahead, the glow continues, revealing just enough of what lies forward to keep you drifting without effort. Your body feels deeply relaxed now, sinking into itself without collapsing. Muscles release their last traces of tension. There's no need to adjust, no need to shift. Stillness feels natural. The city's colors lean warmer again, bathing everything in gentle amber and muted rose. These hues feel familiar, like memories of late nights that ended peacefully. They don't trigger nostalgia sharply, they cradle it. Windows reflect the street in soft duplicates, creating the impression of parallel nights existing side by side. You move through one of them without needing to choose which is real. Reality feels flexible here. A distant clock tower marks time somewhere far away, but the sound doesn't reach you clearly. Even time itself feels muffled. Padded by distance and intention, moments stretch without breaking. You pass another intersection where the lights cycle patiently. You don't stop, you don't hurry. The timing aligns with you effortlessly, as if the city anticipated your presence without focusing on it. There's a quiet sense that this night could hold you indefinitely, and that thought feels comforting rather than concerning. Endlessness here doesn't mean trapped. It means supported. Your awareness begins to feel more like a gentle glow than a point of focus. It spreads out, diffusing into the environment. You are aware without concentrating, present without effort. The hum beneath everything deepens slightly, becoming richer, rounder. It feels like the lowest layer of sound possible, something that exists beneath hearing itself. It steadies the entire scene. Ahead, the street curves again, and you sense without seeing that it leads into another familiar stretch of calm light, more reflections, more repetition. The idea feels reassuring. There is always more night, and it always arrives gently. You don't need to imagine it clearly. Clarity isn't required here. Soft impressions are enough. As you drift onward, the night continues to unfold at the same unhurried pace, holding its shape, maintaining its tone. Nothing sharp emerges, nothing fades too quickly. You are carried forward by continuity alone, suspended in a space where everything feels slow, warm, and endlessly safe, and the city, glowing quietly around you, continues its gentle loop, ready to keep going as long as you remain here, drifting, breathing, resting within the calm that never asks you to wake. The night stretches on deeper now, more endless than you might have imagined at the beginning. It no longer feels like you are moving through a city. It feels like you are moving through a quiet, expansive dream, woven from neon glow, muted hums, and the slow pulse of something unspoken. Every street, every reflection, every patch of shadow and light blends seamlessly into the next, and the boundary between where you end and the night begins has grown impossibly thin. It is a comforting absence of separation, a dissolving of edges, a soft merging that neither overwhelms nor demands. The air feels different here, though you cannot name why. It is heavier than earlier streets, saturated with subtle warmth, with a sense of patience you cannot quite measure. It flows around you, filling every contour of your awareness without effort. Breathing feels entirely optional, yet somehow each inhale and exhale arrives exactly when it should, syncing with a rhythm that seems ancient and infinite. There is no need to observe it, no need to adjust. It simply exists, as does your presence within it. Streetlights glow gently ahead, though they are spaced farther apart now, each casting a long, soft pool of light that merges imperceptibly with the next. The road beneath your feet has a familiar smoothness, polished by countless nights of quiet repetition, yet you do not notice the polish consciously. Your awareness drifts instead, flowing over the surfaces, sliding along the reflections of neon that shimmer faintly on asphalt. bending and stretching as if the pavement itself were breathing. The reflections multiply subtly, layering themselves, creating soft abstractions in pink, blue, and amber that are impossible to separate from memory. You pass a small, closed, its interior lit faintly by the glow of a single lamp that refuses to fade. Tables and chairs are still untouched, waiting patiently for a day that may never arrive. The warmth from inside leaks gently through the window, merging with the streetlight pools outside. You feel it not as heat but as a quiet sense of continuity, a soft reassurance that nothing here ever truly ends. A faint static hum weaves through the air now, almost imperceptible at first, then growing into a comforting presence. It does not compete with the quiet city sounds. It blends, it is not intrusive, it is background yet essential, like the soft vibration of an old vinyl record or the gentle low note in a dreamlike melody. Every small sound, a distant car, the flutter of leaves in a soft wind, the slow rotation of a distant fan is folded into this texture, making the night feel simultaneously expansive and intimately close. Windows above you glow with muted light, though the interiors reveal nothing. Each room feels like a stage paused mid-scene. Perhaps a television flickers quietly inside. Perhaps a lamp is left on as if to mark the absence of someone else. You do not need to see or understand these details. The mere presence of life, paused but acknowledged, is enough. It becomes a rhythm in itself, adding gentle depth to the surrounding stillness. Branches of trees lean over sidewalks in quiet arches, their leaves catching tiny glimmers of light. Each movement is so slow it almost doesn't exist, and yet in noticing it, you feel a soft acknowledgement of life continuing without force. The branches create an overhead pattern of shadows and subtle illumination, weaving a protective canopy that seems both natural and carefully arranged. You feel sheltered, though not confined. There is no pressing need to move faster, to act, or even to notice. Somewhere beyond the visible, a train hums faintly beneath the city, a low rumble stretched across distance. Its presence is both steady and impermanent, arriving and fading without startling. It grounds the city in a sense of scale, a movement that exists outside of immediate perception, suggesting continuity beyond what you can see. The awareness of distance and movement creates a soft layer beneath your own drifting consciousness, adding texture to the night without urgency. Your mind has quieted further now, thoughts thinning into wisps that drift across perception like smoke caught in light. They do not cling, they do not demand resolution, they simply exist momentarily before fading back into the ambient calm. You notice the absence of tension, the absence of expectation, and realize there is no separation between thinking and resting. Even awareness has softened into a gentle presence, diffuse and unforced. Neon signs reappear periodically, though now they are more abstract than literal, glowing shapes rather than words or images. They pulse slowly, without a rhythm that requires attention, spreading soft hues into the night that flow into pavement and walls alike. Some colors appear almost liquid, stretching into gradients that cannot exist in daylight. Your perception merges with these colors, creating a sense of being surrounded by motion that is not moving, by energy that is not active. You are simultaneously observer and environment, breathing in the slow pulse of light. The road curves gently to the left, widening slightly into a broader avenue. Streetlights dot the periphery, their pools of warmth overlapping so subtly that the space between them seems to disappear entirely. Everything feels continuous. Nothing stops. You are carried forward effortlessly, guided only by the gentle unfolding of what lies ahead. There is nothing to resist and nothing to chase. A small park appears to your side, dark but not empty. Shadows of trees extend across the grass in soft patterns, highlighted occasionally by the subtle reflection of street lights. The night air here carries a faint, almost imperceptible scent of soil and foliage, not overpowering but grounding. It reminds you of natural cycles that continue quietly while the city sleeps, cycles that exist without requiring attention. The contrast between urban glow and natural quiet creates a balance, like the gentle layering of sound in a well-composed track. Buildings stretch upward again, their glass facades catching faint reflections of distant neon. The reflections layer over each other, producing a sense of depth that feels almost infinite. It is difficult to tell where one building ends and another begins. Your awareness drifts along the surfaces, following reflections that do not belong to any single object, creating a visual rhythm that mirrors the rhythm of your own breathing. You pass a quiet alley where a single lamp flickers sporadically. The shadows dance gently across the brick walls, but the movement is slow, intentional, and calming. You sense that the flicker is not erratic, it is a part of the texture, a detail designed to blend into the environment rather than draw attention. Even imperfections here serve the night's overall calm. Somewhere above, clouds move slowly, almost imperceptibly, across a glowing sky. The light behind them shifts so gradually that you cannot identify the exact moment a shadow passes over the streets below. This subtle movement becomes part of the ambient rhythm, unnoticeable yet essential. The night has its own pacing, and you feel carried along in perfect harmony. Your body feels heavier now, grounded, yet light in a different sense. It is as if you exist simultaneously in physical space and in the ambient calm of the city. Muscles loosen completely, limbs feel long, relaxed, and unbound. Even posture seems irrelevant. The environment provides support without demand. Far ahead, the avenue narrows, once more lined with low-rise buildings whose windows glow faintly. The interiors suggest life, though you will not enter them. The glow is enough, a reminder that continuity persists even without observation. Each window is like a pulse in the broader rhythm of the night, a gentle heartbeat synchronized with the ambient hum surrounding you. A gentle breeze passes through, carrying faint traces of scents, perhaps distant rain, perhaps warm asphalt cooled by hours of night. It flows slowly, brushing against skin, dissolving into awareness. Without forcing attention, you notice it more by its absence than by its presence. It is an invisible hand guiding perception without effort. The static in the air grows subtly warmer, a layer of texture that cushions the spaces between visual and auditory elements. It is almost tangible, like soft velvet draped over the night, smoothing transitions between reflections, shadows, and distant sounds. Even silence feels layered, composed, and deliberate, a medium in which everything exists without urgency. Your thoughts, if they appear at all, drift lightly, dissolving before forming full sentences. You do not chase them, you do not analyze them. They are part of the landscape, like leaves drifting across the illuminated pavement or distant lights refracted through glass. There is no separation between observation and being observed. You and the night exist in quiet equilibrium. Another intersection appears, lights cycling slowly, perfectly timed. You move through them effortlessly, not needing to adjust. They flow with you, part of the unbroken sequence of calm that stretches forward endlessly. There is no start, there is no end, only this gentle passage. You notice the subtle shifts in color along the street: amber, soft rose, muted blue, and gentle violet. They seem to flow into one another, dissolving distinctions. The effect is hypnotic, but not in a sharp or intrusive way. It does not pull you. It allows you to exist within it naturally. Windows above reflect the street in soft layers. Some reflections seem almost dreamlike, repeating the scene endlessly, looping, yet never boring. The repetition becomes comforting, an unspoken promise that calm persists without change or demand. The air feels alive, though nothing moves. Abruptly, it wraps around you, supporting, holding, carrying the subtle vibrations of the city. Every sound, every reflection, every gentle flicker of light contributes to this enveloping presence, a cocoon without walls. You sense that this night could continue indefinitely, that the rhythm you are moving with will persist beyond perception, beyond thought. Endlessness here does not feel oppressive. It feels like safety, stability, and infinite calm. Streetlights pulse gently, a slow, deliberate heartbeat echoing across pavements and walls, even distant. Noise is a car passing, a fan turning, A train rumbling far below are softened, folded into the overall texture. They add depth without distraction, contributing to the sense that the city exists entirely in harmony with your drifting awareness. You continue moving, not walking, not running, not striving. Movement and stillness blend. You drift forward, carried by rhythm, color, sound, and light, without needing to direct your course. The city stretches outward, layers upon layers of reflections, shadows, and ambient glow. Even if you turn to look behind, you would find it impossible to tell where this stretch of night began. It is seamless, continuous, and perfectly designed to carry consciousness without effort. Somewhere ahead, more lights pulse softly, more reflections layer upon reflections, more subtle details exist simply to exist. You feel no urge to notice them all. Their presence is enough, their continuity is enough, their calm is enough. You sink further into the sensation of effortless drifting, the city, the night, the ambient. The neon glow, the soft static, the layered reflections, the faint natural scents, the gentle breeze all converge into one continuous wave. You are carried forward in it, held by it, cradled within it. Nothing is expected, nothing is demanded, everything simply is. Time stretches, softens, dissolves, minutes, hours, even the concept of passing moments lose relevance. The night exists in a state of perpetual calm, and you exist within it without distinction. There is no beginning, there is no end, only the infinite, gentle unfolding of light, sound, and stillness. The streets bend gently again, leading you into more subtle pools of light and shadow. Each step, each drift, each breath is mirrored by the city around you, creating a perfect resonance. Even movement feels unnecessary, yet you continue to drift forward, carried by the ambient tide of calm. Windows above continue to reflect, multiply, layer, and dissolve in ways that feel endless. The reflections themselves seem aware of the night's rhythm, adjusting imperceptibly, never abrupt, never intrusive. You feel included in this dance without needing to participate consciously. Observation and experience merge, the hum deepens. Further, almost tactile, vibrating through the pavement, through walls, through air, through perception itself. It doesn't demand focus, it doesn't signal change. It is the constant foundation of a world built entirely for gentle continuity. Your awareness continues drifting forward, floating, merging with the city, merging with the night, merging with all layers of color, light, reflection, and sound. You are safe, you are calm, you are present, and the night continues endlessly, carrying you forward, allowing you to exist entirely in the gentle flow of infinite, unbroken calm. The night continues without any sense of distance or destination. It feels as though you are no longer moving through streets, but through a continuous layer of calm that gently surrounds you. Everything flows at the same unhurried pace, as if the city itself has settled into a deep, steady rhythm and invited you to match it. Streetlights glow softly along the road, their light spreading outward instead of downward, creating wide pools of warmth that blend together. There is never a moment of darkness between them, only a smooth transition from one glow to the next. The pavement reflects faint traces of color, neon softened by distance and time, stretching gently across the ground like quiet memories replaying themselves. Buildings rise on either side, their windows reflecting light in subtle layers. Some windows glow faintly from within, others mirror the street, repeating the night back to itself. It becomes difficult to tell which lights are real and which are reflections, and eventually that distinction fades entirely. Everything becomes part of the same soft image. The air feels full, almost padded, carrying a low, steady hum that never changes. It is not loud enough to hear clearly, yet its presence is unmistakable. It fills the silence so completely that nothing feels empty or sudden. Even your own breathing blends into it, slow and effortless, as if the night is breathing alongside you. A gentle breeze moves through the street, brushing past trees and building edges with barely any sound. Leaves shift slightly overhead, catching small fragments of light and turning them into soft flickers that feel distant and dreamlike. The movement is slow, careful, never demanding attention. Your thoughts feel lighter now, thinner, as if they no longer need to form fully. They drift through your awareness like reflections on glass, visible for a moment before dissolving back into the background. Nothing asks to be remembered, nothing asks to be solved. Somewhere nearby, a distant sound hums briefly, perhaps a train far beneath the city, perhaps something else entirely. By the time you notice it, it is already fading, absorbed into the larger rhythm of the night. Nothing here lingers sharply. Everything softens before it disappears. The road curves gently, guiding you without effort. You follow naturally, not because you intend to, but because the flow of the night carries you forward. Movement feels optional now. Stillness and motion blend together until they feel like the same thing. Neon signs appear occasionally, glowing without urgency. Their colors bleed gently into the surrounding darkness, forming gradients that feel more like atmosphere than light. They do not advertise, they simply exist, adding warmth and texture to the scene. Your body feels deeply relaxed, supported without pressure, muscles release in their own time. There is no need to adjust your position, no need to shift or respond. Comfort arrives naturally without instruction. Windows above reflect the street endlessly, layering the same calm image again and again. The repetition is soothing, like a loop that never becomes tiring. Each reflection feels familiar, even if you've never seen it before. The static in the air becomes softer, warmer, like a gentle blanket between moments. Transitions blur so completely that it becomes impossible to tell when one scene becomes the next. Everything flows as one continuous experience. The sky above holds a muted glow, clouds drifting so slowly they almost seem still. Light shifts behind them without contrast or sharpness, maintaining the same tone, the same calm presence. You feel no need to anticipate what comes next. The night reveals itself gradually, always at the same gentle pace. Nothing changes suddenly. Nothing demands your attention. As you drift onward, the city continues its quiet loop, lights glowing, reflections repeating, sounds softening into the background. The rhythm remains steady and reassuring, carrying you forward without effort. You are safe within this calm continuity, surrounded by light, air, and sound that ask nothing from you. The night continues, and you continue with it, drifting deeper into a space where awareness softens and rest arrives naturally. The night feels vast now, wider than streets and taller than buildings, like an ocean of quiet light that stretches beyond where thought can reach. There is no sense of progression anymore, no feeling of moving closer to something or away from anything else. Instead, everything feels suspended in a perfect middle, a calm equilibrium, where nothing needs to change for comfort to remain. You drift through this space effortlessly, not walking, not floating, not standing still, just existing within the rhythm the city has chosen for itself. Every surface around you seems aware of this rhythm. Walls, windows, pavement, and air all participate in the same slow pulse, each contributing without competing. The street beneath you reflects light in soft, elongated streaks. Neon colors stretch across the asphalt, thinning as they go, becoming impressions rather than images. They look like thoughts you almost remember, colors tied to moments that never needed names. Nothing here insists on clarity. Blur feels intentional, protective. Streetlights line the road at long, patient intervals. Their glow feels warmer now, less directional, spreading outward like calm radiating from a center that doesn't need to be seen. Each pool of light overlaps the next so smoothly that shadow becomes optional. Even darker spaces feel filled, supported by ambient glow and quiet expectation. Buildings rise quietly on either side, but they do not feel imposing. Their edges are softened by reflection and distance. Glass panels mirror the street endlessly, duplicating light and color until the city seems to fold in on itself. You pass through layers of reflection without needing to decide which one is real. Reality here is flexible, gentle, and forgiving. The air feels textured now, like it has weight without heaviness. It carries a steady, low hum that never fluctuates, never sharpens. This hum feels ancient and constant, like something that existed before. Streets were built and will continue long after they fade. You don't hear it so much as feel it, a soft vibration beneath awareness that keeps everything steady. Your breathing is so slow and natural it feels like part of the environment rather than something happening inside you. Each inhale blends seamlessly into the night. Each exhale dissolves back into it. There is no effort, no pause that feels empty. The rhythm supports itself. Somewhere above, windows glow faintly with warm light. Not many, just enough to suggest quiet presence. Behind those windows, lives rest in their own loops, televisions left on mute, lamps glowing for no reason, rooms holding warmth long after their occupants have fallen asleep. You don't imagine details, you don't need to. The glow alone is enough to feel comforted. A soft breeze moves through, barely noticeable. It shifts the air just enough to create subtle changes in temperature, gentle and even. Leaves overhead respond slowly, their movement almost ceremonial, like they are honoring the pace of the night rather than reacting to it. Their shadows drift across walls and sidewalks, slow and unhurried. The road widens slightly, opening into a stretch that feels expansive rather than empty. The space gives your awareness room to spread out, to relax even further. Nothing crowds you, nothing presses inward. Everything offers space without isolation. You notice how thoughts no longer arrive fully formed. They appear as fragments, as textures, as feelings without words. They do not connect into narratives. They do not ask for continuation. They pass through gently, like light refracted through fog. Neon signage appears again in the distance. But softer than before, its glow is diffused, colors bleeding into the surrounding night like watercolor. The signs no longer advertise anything recognizable. They exist as pure color and light, abstract and comforting. They pulse slowly, if at all, in a rhythm that matches the city's breathing. The pavement feels smoother here, worn down by countless nights of quiet repetition. Each section looks similar to the last, not in a boring way, but in a reassuring way. The consistency feels intentional, like a design choice made specifically for calm. You could drift here forever and never feel lost. A low structure appears to your side, perhaps a closed shop, perhaps something else entirely. Its windows are dark, but a faint glow leaks through the edges, suggesting warmth inside without revealing anything. You feel no curiosity to look closer. The suggestion is enough. The static in the air becomes more noticeable now, but not louder. It feels like a soft layer between moments, smoothing transitions so completely that time itself feels padded. There are no hard edges between now and what comes next. Everything blends into everything. Else, you pass another intersection. The lights change patiently, cycling through colors with no urgency. They do not rush because nothing is waiting. They do not stop because nothing needs to be delayed. Their rhythm is slow, predictable, comforting. Above, the sky glows with a muted brightness that never sharpens into stars. Clouds drift slowly, their movement so gradual that it feels more like a suggestion than an action. Light behind them shifts gently, never contrasting strongly enough to draw attention. The sky participates in the calm rather than standing apart from it. You begin to feel as if you've always been here, not in a way that erases memory, but in a way that makes memory irrelevant. This moment does not need a beginning. It simply exists, complete and self-sustaining. Sound behaves differently now. Distant noises, a car far away, a door closing somewhere unseen, a faint mechanical hum I've already softened, already blended into the background. They do not rise or fall dramatically. They appear briefly, then dissolve, leaving no trace. Your body feels deeply settled, supported without pressure. There is no tension left to release. Comfort is not something you are seeking anymore. It is something you are already within. Windows continue to reflect the street, creating endless visual loops. Sometimes the reflections seem slightly delayed, as if time itself is echoing. The effect is subtle, barely noticeable, but it adds to the sense of depth and continuity. You feel surrounded by layers of the same calm moment, repeating endlessly. A faint vibration moves through the ground, so subtle it might be imagined. It passes quickly, leaving behind a sense of grounding rather than disturbance. The city feels anchored, stable, held in place by forces that move slowly and predictably. Trees appear again along the sidewalk, their trunks dark and solid, their leaves catching just enough light to shimmer gently. They do not sway much, they simply exist, present and unbothered. Their stillness feels intentional, reassuring. The street curves once more, and you follow without noticing the decision. Direction has become meaningless. Forward, sideways, inward, they all feel the same here. Movement exists without purpose, and that lack of purpose is what makes it restful. Neon reflections on glass intensify. Briefly, then soften again, like a slow wave passing through the scene. Colors shift slightly warmer, then cooler without ever becoming sharp. The changes feel like breathing rather than motion. Your awareness drifts forward again, carried by the promise of continued calm rather than anticipation. There is always something ahead, but it never feels urgent. The night reveals itself only as much as you need, when you need it, without surprise. You sense that this place exists outside of schedules, outside of demands. It is a space where nothing needs to be completed, where repetition is not a loop to escape, but a rhythm to rest within. The hum beneath everything deepens slightly, becoming richer, rounder. It feels like the lowest possible note, holding the entire city steady. You do not focus on it, it holds you whether you notice or not. Lights continue to glow, reflections continue to layer, sounds continue to soften. Nothing breaks the pattern, nothing disrupts the flow. You drift through another stretch of street that looks almost identical to the last, and instead of confusion, you feel relief, familiarity. Here is a gift. Consistency is comfort. The night feels endless now in the gentlest way, not infinite as in overwhelming, but infinite as in stable, like a calm that does not run out. Your thoughts have nearly disappeared, replaced by sensation and presence. Even presence feels diffuse, spread out across the environment. You are not centered in your body, you are centered in the experience. Somewhere ahead, the glow continues, more soft light, more quiet repetition, more calm waiting without urgency. You move toward it without effort, carried by the same steady rhythm, knowing without thinking that nothing will change abruptly. The night will remain gentle, the city will continue to hum, and you will continue drifting, safely, peacefully, within this endless loop of calm. The night feels complete now, not because anything has finished, but because nothing is missing. There is a quiet sense of wholeness in the air, like the city has settled into its final, most comfortable position. Everything that needed to slow down has already slowed. Everything that needed to soften has already softened. You are still drifting, but the drifting feels deeper, heavier in the most comforting way. Not heavy like weight, but heavy like warmth settling into a blanket. Movement continues, yet it feels almost imaginary now, as if the environment is moving around you instead. The street stretches ahead in a long gentle line, glowing faintly under the combined light of signs, windows, and distant reflections. The surface looks smooth, almost polished by time. Every step, even if not physically taken, feels cushioned by the night itself. Neon light appears again, but now it is calmer than ever. The colors no longer separate clearly, they melt into one another, blending into soft gradients that feel more like emotion than sight. Pink drifts into blue, blue into purple, purple into something unnamed and familiar. The buildings feel farther apart now, giving the night more room to breathe. Their outlines blur slightly, not from distance, but from comfort. Sharp edges have no place here. Everything curves gently, even things that once felt rigid. The air is steady and cool, holding a consistent temperature that never surprises. It wraps around you evenly, without sudden changes. Breathing feels effortless, automatic, like the city itself is breathing for you. Somewhere far away, a sound hums, not mechanical exactly, not natural either. It feels like the combined echo of everything that ever made noise here, now softened into a single continuous tone. This sound does not come from any direction. It simply exists everywhere and nowhere at once. you notice that time has become indistinct. Moments no longer follow one another in sequence. They overlap gently, like reflections in glass layered on top of each other. Past, present, and what comes next feel like the same quiet space. Windows glow faintly, some with warm amber light, others with cool, pale tones. None of them demand attention. They are simply there, offering quiet reassurance that the world continues peacefully even when you are not engaged with it. A soft sense of familiarity settles in, not tied to any specific memory, but to a feeling of having been safe before. It feels like late nights long ago, when nothing was expected of you, when staying awake felt optional and sleep felt inevitable. The street curves again, but you hardly notice the change. Direction has lost meaning entirely now. There is no destination, only continuation. Reflections multiply across glass surfaces, creating repeating patterns that feel soothing rather than confusing. The same light appears again and again, slightly altered each time, like a calm thought replaying itself in different tones. The ground beneath you feels solid and unmoving, deeply reliable. Nothing shifts unexpectedly. Nothing vibrates sharply. Stability here is absolute. The static in the air becomes almost velvety, smoothing the space between sensations. Transitions are no longer noticeable. One moment blends seamlessly into the next without edges. You may notice that awareness itself feels quieter, not empty, just simplified. There are fewer layers now, fewer things competing for attention. What remains is calm, steady, and safe. A distant light flickers softly, not abruptly, not sharply, just enough to remind you that gentle change still exists here. Even this flicker feels intentional, measured, controlled. The sky above glows faintly, neither dark nor bright. Clouds hang suspended, barely moving, as if time has slowed specifically for them. Light diffuses through their edges, creating soft halos that fade gradually into the surrounding night. The city hum deepens again, not louder, just fuller. It feels like a foundation beneath everything else, a steady presence that ensures nothing will collapse, nothing will rush. You drift through another familiar stretch of street. It looks like many you have already passed, and that sameness feels comforting. There is no need to map where you are. You are exactly where you need to be. Trees line the sidewalk once more, their leaves barely moving. They seem content to remain still, grounded and unbothered. Their presence adds to the sense of quiet permanence. A faint glow appears ahead, soft and welcoming. It does not signal an ending. It simply suggests that calm continues beyond what you can currently see. Your body feels fully supported now, as if the night itself is holding you in place. There is no effort required to remain comfortable. Every muscle feels loose, every thought unpressured. Sounds that once might have stood out now dissolve almost instantly. They appear already quiet, already blended into the background. Nothing lingers long enough to form distraction. The reflections in windows feel deeper now, as if they lead into another version of the same calm street. You could imagine stepping into them and finding the same glow, the same hum, the same peace. The air feels slightly warmer, just enough to feel comforting without becoming noticeable. Temperature here adjusts itself automatically, always landing exactly where comfort lives. There is a sense that this moment could repeat forever without becoming tiring, not because it is static, but because it flows gently, endlessly, without demand. Your awareness drifts forward again, carried by curiosity that feels soft and sleepy. There is always something ahead, but it never needs to be reached. The night offers no questions now. It asks nothing of you. It simply exists alongside you, steady and accepting. Light continues to glow. Reflections continue to layer. The hum continues to hold everything together. Thoughts are now rare, appearing only as faint impressions before dissolving completely. Silence fills the space they leave behind, but it is a warm silence, full rather than empty. You feel deeply safe here. Not guarded, not alert, just safe in the most natural way, as if safety is the default state of this place. The city seems to stretch outward endlessly, repeating its calm patterns in every direction. No matter where awareness drifts, the same gentle environment awaits. The glow ahead softens even more, becoming almost abstract color. Becomes atmosphere, light becomes feeling, breathing remains slow and effortless. Each breath blends seamlessly into the next, like waves smoothing a shore that never erodes. The hum beneath everything steadies once more, returning to its most balanced tone. Nothing changes sharply, nothing surprises. This is where the night settles, not ending, not beginning, just continuing, calmly, quietly, endlessly. You remain within it, drifting without effort, held by repetition, by softness, by the certainty that nothing urgent will happen here. The city continues to glow, the air continues to and you continue to rest within this infinite vaporwave night where everything is gentle, everything is slow, and calm simply goes on.